Hey everybody, Like Blades here. And in today's video, I figured I just wanted to update everybody. I've been gone for a little while. I think my last update was maybe 20 days ago or so. But right now, I've got my Medusa V3, which I can't tell if it's on screen or not. Okay, it is, and my V1. I'm doing some comparisons right quick, but before I get into all of that, small update. I'm going back to my original words from when I first started all this. I'm not doing reviews anymore. I found them fun for a little while, but after a while I started to get burnt out. They became less fun, and honestly, I just don't think that's what I want to do. I just want to make videos like this where I'm walking around with a knife talking about something specific, kind of like a Will Flips, but of my own kind of thing, with my own knives, my own conversations, stuff like that. I will still do the regular unboxings as I get new knives and whatnot. Ooh. I'll still do unboxings, as I just said. As I get new knives, I know people like to see unboxings. I don't know if they're still as popular as they used to be, but I do know they used to be pretty popular, so I say fuck it. I'll give it a shot, see how it goes, and the unboxings seem to do a lot better than my review videos, so that's just another reason to give them a quit. So I don't know if you can see it, but my shadow looks stupid. But yeah, reviews, no more. I'm not doing them anymore. I'm tired of them. I'm tired of having to work on them. Of course, they're not scripted, just like every other video I make, but there just comes a limit to what I can and cannot do. I'm not a videographer, I'm not a director, I'm not a script writer, I'm not a writer in general. I'm just a guy that happens to like knives enough to try and want to make them himself. So that's really all I am. And this YouTube thing isn't even a way of trying to get popular or anything. Just a way of trying to get more people to get into the hobby maybe, and possibly even find more people to talk to at blade shows. Like, maybe you've watched the channel once or twice, you noticed the name or the logo, you come up, you say hi. I mean, shit, that's awesome. That's what this is about. That's what this whole thing is for. It's for me to make new friends that I can meet at blade shows and whatnot, talk on Instagram, or who knows, maybe do some business or something, I don't know. But yeah, if this ends up making me some money in the future, I mean, shit, I'm down with that. But yeah, sorry about the wind. I hope it's not affecting the mic too much, but no more reviews at all. Unless there's a knife that I get that is so awesome, like maybe the Jawbone, maybe then I'll do a review. But if it's not something that completely blows me away, I'm not doing a review on it. Like, I was going to do a review on the Medusa V3. I was doing comparisons and whatnot in the first video. Jesus, that wind came out of nowhere. But I was doing comparisons. But now I'm just, I don't feel like it. I'm still going to talk about this here in a couple minutes after this video. Or after this little snippet. So skip to there if you want to. But yeah, I already made my thing. I'm not doing reviews anymore. I'll update every now and then on a knife after I unbox it, after I have it for a couple of weeks or whatnot, if I remember. But yeah, I can designate certain videos like these to a specific knife if y'all want to see that. I can go grab it, come out here, flip it, talk about it specifically in that video. What makes it special to me, what makes it special in general, what makes it rare. Like, let's see. My magnet, for instance. If y'all want to see me talk about the magnet, I can go ahead and grab that. I can strap this camera on my forehead and look stupid for maybe 30 minutes or so. Come out here, flip it if the wind is tolerable, which it was before I started recording, so fuck you, wind. Talk about that knife specifically. Call it a day. I'd love to do that. So, yeah, but that's all for that update. Now to the Medusa V3. This is not a review. As I've already said, I'm not doing those anymore. This is just something I've noticed over the time that I've had it. An update, if you will. So far, let's see. Medusa V1 wins on sound overall. I like how subtle the ring is, but how much it resonates and just sticks around as you're flipping. Well, the V3, it kinda fades when you're in the middle of flipping. Like, especially for that. The Medusa V1 continues to ring while it's in the air. I don't know if you can hear that, but it does continue to make sound, while the V3, it does not. So, while I like the sound of the V3 better, the V1 just stays, and it's a whole different thing. It's a different kind of ring. While this is a pingy ring, that's a ringy ring, I guess. Oh, I'm never gonna hear that down. But I'm not going that way. That's just the way I see it. That's the way I feel about it. Ugh. But in basically everything else, the Medusa V3 wins. Which, yes, again, I need to say this again. This is a V3, not a V4. Sure, I can understand why you think it's a V4, but it's not a V4. I'm telling you now. Grant decided it is not a V4. The V3 trainer that he made, the original handles, he redesignated those V2.5. Those are 2.5 handles. This is the official V3. He changed that like ages ago, but everyone is still too stupid to understand that. And I don't care if I'm insulting you personally, just fuck you if you still think this is a V4. Either way, this is a vast improvement over the V1 in basically every way, except for the fact the sound doesn't stay around. But it's a downgrade in a way, because these collars can make it a pain in the ass to retune. If you get second-hand screws, maybe from Alpha Knife Supply or something, most of them have to be shaved down to be a proper head size, because even if they're listed as the same size as these screws, they're going to get stuck in the collars, and that's going to fuck with your tune completely. Then you can't get them out without a bunch of fucking effort, and it's a pain in the ass. I went through it. My buddy Kareem went through it when he retuned this thing. And holy hell, it was a pain in the ass. But it was mostly a pain in the ass for me, not really for him, because to be fair, he is a professional, so, like, I do expect him to be better at tuning than I am. But I am noticing some rust marks on here, which I can go ahead and get rid of really quick when I get back inside. But then again, this has not rusted nearly as much as my S35 blade has on the V1. There's rust there, there's rust there, there, some around here, there. I think that's rust right there. No, that's not. That's just leather residue. Also, the screws are not fancy anymore. They're not swirly, which kind of upset me, but it is what it is. It's still a Medusa. It still flips like a Medusa. Although this is ever so slight handle biased. While this one is very handle biased, but then again, that's my own doing. Then I want to talk about finishing. This is finished a lot better than this is. When you feel this in the hand, it is a lot more rounded. There's not any sharp places except for right inside the channel. It's kind of sharp, but not sharp enough that it'll bother you any or that you'll notice it while flipping. But the handles are smoother, the flipping is smoother. Even the blade design itself is smoother. While everything here is just very angular, like everything is so angular, while everything here is more curved. And the handles as well on the V1, they're not finished as well. They're more just multiple cuts instead of rounding. So it's got some parts that are kind of sharp, but aren't sharp enough to be a big bother. Except for down here at the bottom of the handle, when you're actually going to go and do a palm fam, which I can't do with this knife. It kind of digs into you a little bit more than it should, but it is what it is, so. But yeah. I will always take the V1 over the V3, which I know you're probably thinking, but that's not at all what it sounded like you were going to say. It is. But there's a reason for that. This V1 has been in my collection longer than anything that is currently in it. It's been there longer than my Kraken, been there longer than my Magnet for sure. Let's see. It's been there longer than my Titan, my Lucha. It's been there longer than everything. This was one of my first Blade Show purchases. And surprisingly, it's the first Blade Show purchase I've made that I've never let go. Like, basically everything I buy at Blade Show, I end up selling eventually. Unless it's like super rare or something. So, the fact that this is still with me is pretty surprising. But yeah. I'll always take this over the V3 for sentimental reasons, but everything else, I'm going V3. It's a better flipper, feels better in the hand. Honestly, I think the jimping is a bit of a downgrade, but what are you gonna do? And I have not been kind to this knife. I've dropped it probably a couple hundred times by now by trying new shit. The blade is still good. It kind of got a little tipped, but it's still pointy. Handles got a tiny bit scuffed down here at the bottoms, but even after all that, this thing is still trucking on. This titanium, which is the same grade as the V1, somehow lasts better. Sure, I've had this longer, but there's just chips and dents, scratches, and just pieces of titanium missing out of the bottoms of these handles that during the same drops, nothing has happened to this, so yeah. V1 for nostalgia, V3 for everything else. So that's as close to a review as you're getting with this. I hope you enjoyed it, because that's all for now. Until I get my jawbone, I might not make any more videos unless there's specific things y'all want to see, which if there are, seriously let me know, because if you don't let me know, how am I supposed to know that's what you want to see? So yeah, anyway, that's been the Medusas thumbnail, maybe. That's been the Medusas. I hope you enjoy. Peace.